There, John here, back again with another massive update to the Predictology platform. And this time we're excited to bring to you our new staking plans feature, which is now built into the system builder and ready for you to use. I'll just walk you through some of the steps and how you can start using it today. So we'll use BM11, which is a win system. It's part of the premium portfolio, which all annual members get access to. Now, the first thing you need to do is select the system you're interested in looking at staking plan on, click Run Selected System, and once that's done, you click on View Extended Analysis, and that will bring up a new page similar to this one here. Now, with the extended analysis, you get a lot of information right up front, so you can have a look at your system, get an overview of the number of bets, its wins, strike rates, and various other pertinent information, and you can also drill down at a league level and season level to see how that's performing. But where things get exciting, and with the new feature, is you now have 3 staking plans that you can apply to your system. We have a level staking plan, a percent of bank, and a fixed profit. So how you would do this, you'd select level, for example, your starting bank, and for level staking, you would set the percentage that you want your stake to be at, and with the level 1, that will remain at 1%. So if you had a 100-point bank, it would stake 1 point on every bet. Whereas if you had a percent of bank, that 1% would increase or decrease depending on how your bank performs. And with fixed profit, that will have a variable stake, and it will look to achieve the target profit based on the percentage of your bank as you go. So hit calculate as an example here. Right, now you can see that has been applied on an overall level. Now there's 2 pertinent information pieces that you need to look at, particularly when it comes to deciding and setting the appropriate bank size. Firstly, it will show you the lowest that the bank has gone down to, which, as you can see here, is 100 points, which is our starting bank. So in fact, it's never gone below the initial starting bank. However, that doesn't tell the full picture without considering the drawdown. And in this scenario, at 1% level stake, it's had a drawdown of 7.81 units. So that will help you in terms of adjusting your staking to the appropriate size. As an example, with this particular system, you could potentially be backing it at a higher percentage, say 2.5%. We also have the same motherfucker. Right, as you can see, within a few moments that has loaded, and we can start to see the different stats based on our staking plan. And as you can see, so the bank on this particular model has never actually gone below the original 100-point starting bank, but it has actually had a drawdown of 7.81. So a couple of things to note on that. If you're looking at other systems, it's good to note what your lowest bank size is, but it was also equally important to know what the drawdown is, and that will influence the size of bank that you need to allocate to a system. Whereas in particular, this model indicates that potentially we could be staking at a higher percentage level and we still be very comfortable within our bank size, allowing us to get a more optimal return on the bets that we're staking. Now you'll also notice there is an export option over here, and that will put into Excel more detailed information, which we'll look at in a moment. We also have the same options for laybot models. So you'd select a lay system within the system builder, again, run the system, click on extended analysis, and you'll get a screen similar to this one. Again, we're using one of the premium portfolio as an example. And again, this would be level stakes using 1% to the bank. You can also choose percent of bank or a fixed liability, and that means that your profit returns will vary depending on the odds per lay bet, but maintaining the same percentage risk per lay on each bet. Now, again, just to re-highlight this, with this particular example, as we can see, the lowest that the bank ever went was 90.65 units, but the drawdown itself was 58.46, which again would indicate that a 100-point bank would be appropriate for this system. But I'll show you another example which is using the same system but using a percentage of the bank. And this one actually has a drawdown of 414 points, which is obviously much higher than the initial starting bank. So this system wouldn't be suitable for a compounding approach, but is absolutely suitable from a level stakes perspective. Now, you'll also notice over onto the right-hand side an export option, and this will push into Excel a whole host of additional data, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Right, once we've clicked the export button, you'll have a report downloaded similar to the one that you can see on the screen now, and I'll just walk you through some of the key elements to this report. So as you can see, at the moment we're looking at the win system that we showed you earlier, and you can see the date, the league, the bet type, the teams involved, as well as the full-time score and half-time score, and the outcome of the bet. Now, what you can see here is it's a level stake system, so that means we're staking 1 point or 1% of the original starting bank on every selection, but no compounding. So the stake remains the same all the way through. You can see how much has been staked, the profit per bet, and the cumulative profit, as well as the odds taken and the current bank size. You can also see the how high the bank has got at any given at any point within the betting sequence, as well as a drawdown figure here. And a little bit further over to the right, we can see the ROI and the return on capital for the model. Now, if we jump to the most recent results, we can see that continue to be populated. So as you can see, that was pulled up 15th of July. We can see that the stake still is remaining as 1 point, but in total we've staked 1,448 points. We've had accumulated profit of 170.41. Our bank is now 270 points from the original 100-point bank, and it's only just below the all-time high bank of that. See the drawdown levels here. And a little bit later, we'll touch on this in another video. We do have implied odds and edge, but we'll cover that off in a separate video. And you can see it's had an all-time ROI of 12% and a return on capital of 172.72%. Now, as I mentioned, you have different staking plans, so we could export it as a percent of bank, which again will have a similar work in a similar way. But as you'll see, the stake here is changing based on the bank size that it's doing. So you should be able to compound profits a lot quicker. And as you can see, we're by the same point in time, we're now up to 5.35 points per stake compared to the original one that we started with. Obviously staked a lot more, but also the cumulative profit is significantly higher as well. And as you can see, very little difference to the ROI, but the return on capital, which is the more significant of the figures, is almost 3 times higher than it is by just doing level stakes. Show you one more example, which is fixed profit. So again, as you can see here, the stake is varying depending on the bank size, but always trying to achieve a 1%. We can see here similar figures. Profit-wise, it's return on capital is 110%. So based on this model, you would probably be most suitable to a percent of bank and compounding that growth. And as we saw earlier, you could play around with the percentage of the bank that you're using to potentially extract even more profit from the model. Now, I'll show you the lay version of this. So again, staking a level stake 1 point, which means your liability will change depending on the odds, but you'll be returning 1 point profit, less, which you also need to factor in the commission on that, which we don't do currently, but we will do very, very soon. And again, you can manage the bank and see how high it is, the drawdown, and everything else. And as you can see, so coming up to the 28th of July, total staked has been 2,144, cumulative profit is 267 points, and a 12% ROI and a 270% return on capital. Laying as a percentage of the bank, as we saw, that probably needed a larger bank, and as you can see, the returns, where are we? There are high, but probably not achievable, as we will have busted the bank at some point during that process. Now, fixed liability as before means you're risking the same amount on every bet, and how much you return will depend on the odds that you're staking at. So I hope you're as excited as we are with the new staking plans, and putting you fully in control of your systems and helping you find the best way to extract the most optimal profit from your betting and trading. Once again, thanks again for listening to us, and we hope you found this video interesting and helpful. Talk to you all again soon. Thanks.